Well, when you recognized the man as Pinky Hayden, what was your first impulse, Herbie?
I guess my first impulse was just to get away from him as fast as I could. I mean, him being a bank robber and wanted by the FBI, well, I sure didn't want to tangle with him.
Well, knowing he was this dangerous, what made you decide to follow him?
Well, there weren't any policemen.
Stop messing your hair.
Eva.
I recognized him from his picture in the
Look how he's messing his hair.
Please,
Well,
Eva.
then what happened?
I just followed him. Well, he did turn around once. Right there, I was plenty scared.
That son of mine, he's too modest for his own good.
Going to
Please, Mrs.
the
Ryder.
barber shop. I ran to the nearest phone booth and called the police. That's it.
Well, you made it sound a lot more simple than it actually was, Herbie, as proved by the fact that Hayden shot it out with the police and was killed. Now, on behalf of my sponsor, I'm very happy to present you with this check for $500, along with this citation, naming you, Herbie Ryder, as Chicago's Hero of the Month.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
They tell me, Herbie, do you have any special plans for that money?
Yeah, kind of. I'm getting married soon, and we're going to use part of it for a honeymoon.
Well, I think that's wonderful. My very best to you and the future Mrs. Ryder.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Herbie. Now let's take a look at today's weather, and then we'll turn to the sporting news.
Oh, is that all? They didn't give Herbie enough to say.
He'll be home in half an hour. We still got a lot to do.
Yeah, I know.
Vern? Hey, how'd I do, huh? Vern.
Herbie Ryder's murder attracted national attention. The consensus was that it had been the work of organized crime, as a lesson to the public-spirited citizens who had been cooperating with the crime investigators. That's why the entire Chicago police force was placed on emergency duty. We wanted Herbie Ryder's killer. My name is Frank Ballinger, Detective Lieutenant M Squad, a special detail of the Chicago police. 36 hours after Herbie Ryder's body had been discovered in the alley, we were still without even one small lead.
Oh, Vern.
Thought I'd see how you were, Mrs. Ryder. Oh, you've got company.
Come in, Vern. Lieutenant Ballinger of the police, Vern Sora.
Howdy, Doc.
Herb's best friend.
Nice to meet you, Vern.
Another son to me. See? He brings flowers. He's a good boy. Eva, please. Would you some water?
Vern, I was just asking Mrs. Ryder if she knew of anybody who might have made any threats to her son.
Threats? No, I don't think so. I'm sure that Werner Herbie would have told me. You see, well, ever since we were kids, we've been like brothers. I feel so guilty about it.
Guilty? Why guilty, Vern?
If I hadn't have gone after that cake, if I'd met him at the bus, like I used to do sometimes, maybe you'd still be alive.
Vern.
Those lousy, stinking killers, they killed Herbie. And maybe I could have stopped them.
Oh, cry. Cry, Vern. Don't be ashamed. Cry. We know how you feel.
Tell Mrs. Ryder I'll come back some other time. A kid does a fine thing for society and is killed for it. No wonder his people felt lost and confused. I was pretty angry myself. I spent another 24 hours checking leads that ended nowhere.
Oh, keep checking, will you? All right. Now call me back if you get something.
Nothing. Not an enemy in the world. I checked the whole neighborhood where he lives, and all the people down at the plant where he works. He was really one of those guys that everybody liked.
Yeah, except the guy who killed him. That was nothing personal.
You know, maybe this is a syndicate job. They hustle in a torpedo from out of town. He does the job, and they get him out of town the same night.
It's possible. Why don't you go home? You look like you could use some sleep.
Why don't you go home and get some sleep?
Oh, boy, what a day. 2 full confessions. Of course, there was, details were all wrong.
Of course.
A lot of phone calls with the usual anonymous and phony tips. You just want to check out on your way home.
Baby Sweet, the stripper?
Yeah. She's also the ex-Mrs. Pinky Hayden. She might know somebody who was mad enough with this guy to kill him.
Okay, Baby Sweet it is. Baby Sweet, the ex-Mrs. Pinky Hayden, said Pinky always walked strictly alone. He was never part of a mob. Far from being avenged by the underworld, she felt Hayden's death was as happy an event to them as it was to her. I was too wound up to sleep, so I went back to the alley where Herbie had been killed to see if I could come up with some new ideas.
Hi, Lieutenant. Working on the case, huh?
Yeah.
Anything new?
No, just looking around, trying to figure out how it happened.
Hey, maybe I could help you. This is one of the shortcuts Herbie and I had ever since we were in grammar school. I figure the killer was probably standing right here, so that when Herbie started from there, Herbie got just about to this spot, then the killer let him have it.
Yeah, but how would anybody know that Herbie would use this alley?
Well, he always did ever since school, even when he went to work at that plant. Bus stop's only a block away.
Oh, and you figure this guy was following Herbie, got to know his habits, huh?
Yeah, that's probably it.
No, funny thing. You recognized me up there at the corner. Yet Herbie got to here.
Hey, I see what you mean. Herbert would have seen him from here, just like I saw you. The fact that he kept coming and got closer. You don't think maybe it was somebody he knew?
Well, I don't know.
It's funny, I never thought of that. It could be. Let me know if I can help, Lieutenant. Good night.
Oh, yeah, good night.
Come on, I'm bored. Let's go someplace.
All right, what's the rush? Look, I brought some presents. I thought maybe we could have a nice, quiet evening together.
Now, ain't that nice? 2 records and 1 pint. What do you want, a medal?
More than your lover boy ever brought you.
Herbie? He was different. I was always glad to see him.
Wasn't so much glory. Look, I'll prove it.
You... That's for talking against Herbie. He was a nice guy, and we were only friends. I wish we could have been more. He's dead, and it ain't nice to talk against the dead. He was better than you every which way. Second best. Ain't that what the kids call you?
Don't call me that!
Second best. Second best. Kill yourself trying, but Herbie had always come out on top in every way.
Well, Herbie's gone now. I'll never be second best again. I got rid of that once and for all.
You make it sound like you killed Herbie. You would get yourself in a lot of trouble if he wasn't so funny. Go on home, kid. You bore me.
Gloria, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. You made me sore.
Knock it off. And get out of here.
I go to a bar, I'll take you.
I don't want to go nowhere with you. Now get out.
What I said about Herbie, you know I was kidding, don't you?
Who'd take you serious about anything?
After I saw you last night, Lieutenant, I got to thinking. I couldn't fall asleep thinking about it.
What's on your mind?
Well, you remember, Lieutenant, Mrs. Ryder saying how everybody liked Herbie so much?
No.
Well, that wasn't exactly true. Like, there were a couple of guys down at the plant that didn't like Herbie. Some others who had a grudge. Look, I I wrote down all their names and addresses. I know it's crazy, but you said you want to know about any possible enemies. I thought maybe this might help.
Bernie Philbin, what did he have against Herbie?
They used to give a prize down at the plant to the guy who turns out the most work. Herbie always topped him. I think they had some kind of a fight.
Tom Lebedev?
I don't know, at school, he just hated Herbie.
Who's this Gloria Stark?
Oh, Gloria, she's harmless. Kind of a way-out dame. I really shouldn't even put her down on the list. But, well, like I said, I thought I'd better put down anybody who might have had it in for Herbie.
Miss Gloria Stark, what was her problem?
She used to go around with Herbie, real gone on him. After he met Eva, he set her down hard. Gloria got sore. She used to get drunk, talk about how she'd get even with him someday. Like I said, I just put down anybody. Look, I better get back to work. I'm late now.
Okay, Vern, thanks for coming in. I don't know, Frank. Some kid that didn't like Herbie because Herbie did more work than he did. Another kid he went to school with, he probably beat him out of a bag of marbles or something. And a way-out dame that he used to run around with. Oh, I suppose the kid means well, but he's really reaching.
We got any better suspects?
No. Go ahead, check him out.
I didn't blame the captain for being edgy. The papers were demanding action, and we were strictly static. I checked out the first two names in a hurry. Their alibis were as solid as concrete. The next name on the list was Gloria Stark. The gun had been registered to a butcher a block away from the Ryder apartment. He'd been held up a couple of times, but he wasn't the type to use a gun, and his wife had made him get rid of it. A month ago, he sold it to a neighborhood bookie, a man named Mo Norton.
Yeah, sure, I bought the gun from Harry the Butcher. See, I'm in sort of the investment biz. I carry a lot of gaiters with me, and you never can tell when I might need protection. No, you got the wrong number.
Where's the gun now?
Search me. Somebody swiped it.
What do you mean somebody swiped it?
I ain't seen it. The last time I seen it was when Lady O won the second at Narragansett. That's 10 days ago.
Now, come on, Mo. You mean somebody steals your gun, you don't even report it to the police?
I didn't have it registered to me in the first place.
Oh,
so I figured I'd keep my mouth shut about it in the first place. Wrong number.
Where was the gun taken from?
Right here.
What do you mean, here?
I kept it in this top drawer here. Wrong number.
You have any idea who stole the gun?
You got me, but I know how.
How?
Joker climbed the fire escape, and Jimmy the window.
Who are the tenants that live above and below you?
Upstairs, Ramsey. Downstairs, Miss Platt and Sauter.
Sauter?
Yeah, the super and his kid Vern.
Did anybody in this building know that you had that gun?
Not from me, they didn't. But that Harry the Butcher, he's a great guy for shooting off his mouth. And everybody in the neighborhood buys from him. Wrong number.
Okay, Mo, let's go downtown.
What for? Look, may I drop dead and bust this minute if I ain't been laying it right on the line to you. What's the charge?
Well, for now, why don't we just call it bookmaking, huh?
Me, a bookie? Look, made a ceiling fall in and crush me flat if I ever book one single solitary...
Yeah. $2 in the second at Tropical to show, Buckaroo.
$2 on Buckaroo.
Let's go. You know, I think he's telling the truth. We can't establish any connection between Mo, Gloria, and Herbie.
Well, the window was jimmied all right. Some kind of a chisel with a jagged edge. Condition of the wood indicates it was done at least a week ago. All right, so somebody swiped the gun. Who, Gloria?
Maybe.
Climbed up the fire escape and jimmied the window, huh? Oh, Frank, I can't buy that.
Well, maybe she got somebody to do it for her. No, it says here that the other people in the building didn't even know Gloria. Vern Sauter knew her.
He was also Herbie's best friend, and he tipped us off about Gloria.
Yeah. Well, suppose she asked him to do her a favor by, getting her a gun because, well, she was afraid to live alone or something like that.
Oh, I don't know, Frank.
Now, listen. Now, Vern knows that Mo has a gun. So he climbs the fire escape, shimmies the window, and takes the gun. And he gives it to Gloria, thinking that she really needs it for herself.
All right, then why would he give us that story about Gloria being jealous of Herbie?
Yeah, that's the one holdup. Because he'd have to realize that he'd implicate himself if Gloria talked.
Yeah, unless when he came in here this morning, he already knew she was dead.
Lieutenant. Now, Mrs. Ryder's over at Eva's.
Well, it's you I want to see, Vern. Your father said I could find you over here.
Yeah, I want to surprise Mrs. Ryder. Fix her TV. It's on the blink.
Oh, good.
You don't mind if we talk while I work?
No, go right ahead. When was the last time you saw Gloria, Vern?
A couple of weeks ago, maybe longer.
And you haven't seen her since then, hmm?
No. She was a shock to me to find out she killed herself, though.
No.
Shows how wrong I was. Remember my telling you how I almost didn't put her name on that list?
Yeah. Where were you last night, Vern?
Home. I was dog-tired. I turned in right after supper.
And you didn't leave the house at all, huh?
No, not till this morning, when I came down to see you.
How'd you sleep?
Like a horse. I worked overtime yesterday. The old man wanted to know if I was sick or something. Said it was the first time I'd gone to bed at 8 o'clock since I was a kid.
Well, how come you told me this morning you could hardly sleep last night for thinking about Herb's killer?
Well, that was just kind of a figure of speech. I mean, I did get up early and write that list.
Your father told me that he had to wake you up this morning.
Hmm? Oh, wait, I remember now. I got up at 6. Then I wrote that list, and, then I went back to bed. Finally fell asleep again. Well, the questions, Lieutenant. Something wrong?
No, just routine. Well, Vern, give Mrs. Ryder my regards, huh?
Oh.
I talked to one of the school teachers this morning. She had them both in the 8th grade for a year.
Oh, come on, Frank. Grammar school?
Now, wait a minute. Hear me out. She said that Vern always worked 3 times as hard as Herb. But at the end of the term, Herb always went out and Vern was second. So the kids got to calling Vern second best, and it stuck.
And that's the motive, huh? The fact that Herbie won all the spelling bees, is that it? And that's what you want me to take to the state's attorney?
We didn't have a thing on Vern. Nobody had seen him leave his apartment house that night, and he hadn't been seen at Gloria's place. Then we came across a neighborhood storekeeper who'd sold him some records a few days ago. We found the same records in Gloria Stark's apartment. We put Vern under 24-hour surveillance.
But he's dead now. What are you going to do? Stay home for the rest of your life? Look, all I asked you for was a date. I know plenty of dames would be only too glad to go out with me.
And ask them. And take your hands off me.
Now, I get it. I'm not good enough for you, huh? I'm not a big hero like Herbie was, picking up $500 checks, getting on TV. I'm only second best, huh?
Vern, there's something wrong with you.
Maybe one of these days I'll be a bigger hero than that phony ever was. Watch and see. Maybe I'll get my name in the paper and be on TV, too. Watch and see, Eva! Lieutenant, you want to see me?
I just happened to be in the neighborhood. I thought I'd stop by and see how my boy Vern was doing.
I can't talk now. I'm busy.
Vern, we happen to know that you got up and went out of your place the other night when your father was asleep.
I got up for what?
You know those records you bought? We found them in Gloria's apartment.
I didn't take them there that night. It was a couple of nights.
Well, I thought you said that you hadn't seen her in a couple of weeks.
No, you're lying. I never said that.
Then you killed her, Vern, and put the gun in her hand. Come on, admit it, Vern.
Let me go!
Oh, real still, huh?
Let me go! Let me go! Please.
Right there, huh?
Let me go!
That'll hold you. The squad will get things.
Don't leave me here. I'll tell you whatever you want, but please don't leave me here. Please take the pressure. Look at the pressure.
Pressure? What are you talking about?
Oh, please. Hurry, the pressure.
What were you trying to do, blow up the building?
I'll tell you anything you want. You gotta get me out of here.
What are you worrying about? It's still the safe you found.
It's broke. It don't work.
What do you mean it's broke?
Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Well, how do I turn the steam pressure off?
Please get me out of here.
I said, how do I turn the steam pressure off?
The pressure, release it.
There's no handle on it.
Please hurry. It's at an exploding point.
How do I turn it off?
I busted it. You gotta get a wrench.
A wrench where?
Over in that basket. Her will be killed. Hurry. It's not gonna work. We don't have time. Hurry, we'll get killed. Get me out of here. I confess, I'll tell you. I killed Herbie and Gloria. Don't leave me. I wanted it to blow up so I could turn in the alarm and get my name in the paper.
No, it's Ben. Look, get down. Keep your head away.
Nothing I ever did turn out right. He always beat me. Even with Eva. I met her first. But then when she saw him, I became second best. Always second best.
Let's go.
Chicago jury found Vern Sauter guilty on 2 counts of murder in the first degree. He was sentenced to death. Mrs. Ryder refused to believe that he had killed Herbie. He was her boy's best friend. How could he have done it? Why? Nobody was able to give her a complete answer.